I'm sitting in the doctor's office. I'm 18 years old, and I just decided to become a parent. Maybe this happened because of the high teen pregnancy rate, or maybe because I dropped out of high school, or maybe because I come from a single parent household. Or maybe it was all of these risk factors combined that led me to this very cold clinic room. I was so nervous and scared because I was facing this alone. I wasn't ready to tell my mom, and I didn't want to burden anybody else with this. The doctor walks in with her friendly smile, goes through her list of questions, and then instructs me to undress from the waist down as she exits. As I lay there shaking in fear with the plastic sheet covering me, a million questions run through my head. The doctor comes back in, lifts up the sheet, and rudely says, "Take off your underwear. You didn't get pregnant with those on, did you?" At that moment, all of the questions I was trying to articulate flushed away with embarrassment. I questioned myself and my choice, and if I could or even should have a baby. I was so uncertain of my choice, and I felt so low. Fast forward 3 years later, I'm sitting in the child support office. After a whirlwind of emotions and situations, I found myself asking for public assistance again. I became a mother at a young age, and although this was very challenging, my child propelled me to a higher potential. I graduated high school in 2013 at the age of 21 from a load of supports from Florence Crinton Services. I entered the workforce shortly after and simultaneously became a single mother. And I started working, so I needed the child care assistance. After an immense feeling of pride and accomplishment from graduating, I found myself again in that human services office. I was again applying for all the services and adding one more this time, child support. Although the relationship with my son's father has not been ideal, to say the least, I know doing this, applying for child support, was not going to be a positive thing for us, but I needed the child care assistance. Although I felt more equipped to handle this situation, I felt more sure of myself, my abilities, and my choices, I still felt shame. I still felt shame while being interrogated in that office, getting asked repeatedly if I was sure of my son's father, and being told that doing off and on relationships was something that they didn't do. The shame didn't stop once I left that office. It followed me through those court dates. It was there when asking my employer for those days off and for letters of verification. It was there when trying to find a child care center to take the child care assistance. And it was also there for applying for low-income housing. Too often, the human services industry forgets about the humanity of the families it serves. This is extremely important because these services are provided to families in very extreme hard times. And as we all know, it's very hard to ask strangers for help. Anyone, it's hard to do that. Think about the last time you had to ask a stranger for help. Maybe you lost your phone and you needed to ask a stranger to borrow theirs to get to your phone or to get a ride home. What if that stranger was like, "Well, I'm gonna need you to empty out your pockets and show me the inside of your purse. I need proof that you don't have a phone." This happened to me consistently for many years of my life while I was struggling. Instead of people asking me for a look in my purse, they would callously request intimate details of my work, personal, and financial life. This is a very shaming and isolating experience, although I know I'm not alone. We need to fill the humanity gap that exists between service providers and the family that it serves, and create a more humanizing and relationship experience between families and partitioners who serve them. And I think one simple way to do this is from changing the question to what are you here for, what are you here for, to how can I support you? Today, I run the PACE program at the Boys and Girls Club of Metro Denver. It serves more than 200 middle school students and their families a year. And there is no gap between us. Maybe it's the way that I look, or that we speak alike. Maybe it's the building filled with kids, toys, and bouncing basketballs that makes it an inviting place. Maybe it has something to do with the couch in my office that makes it inviting, or that Boys and Girls Club has been a trusted organization for years in the community. One thing I am sure of is that I strive to build trusting relationships with every family that I see. The saying, "It takes one to know one," comes to mind. I have and continue to struggle financially, emotionally, and as a parent. So I can sometimes recognize when a family might need some extra support. When I offer services to families, rather than wait for them to ask me for help, I always remind them that we are here to help. We're here to serve your children as well as your family as a whole. If a family misses an appointment, we can offer bus passes. If attendance is an issue, we can offer gas cards. If I notice a big family with one income on paperwork, I can point them to food resources and other assistance they might need. Sometimes a family declines, but then later discloses a need for rent assistance or even mental health support. Whether someone can articulate what it is they need or not, everyone deserves to be treated with respect. When you deliver services to a client, in addition to assistance, resources, and aid, service providers should also assure that their client leaves empowered and supported. My families can always have that cell phone whenever they need it, no questions asked. The public assistance system is made to be exclusive of people. But if we were a little bit more inclusive of the communities that we serve, it can make a big difference. It could take the shame out of the equation and replace it with dignity and empowerment. Thank you.